Good evening, and welcome to tonight's Spy Party Competitive League unofficial cast. This is my co-caster, Ren Milia,
Hello, everyone, and this is my main caster, Dells.
and tonight we will be casting our first non-secret challenger match between Sykosloth and Spedmonkey.
Let's get hyped for that elimination of the secrecy on challenger matches. We can spectate them, we can watch them, we can know the results.
And of
I'm
course,
excited.
no one was doing that before. I definitely have not
Definitely not.
watched any challenger matches, and I have not knowingly distributed any challenger match results.
Yeah, just a few casual games between people who may or may not have been in challenger once upon a time. You know.
And so while Challenger has been under top secrecy, it looks like we missed Sykosloth making it to the top of the standings.
Oh ho 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 ho!
That's a
Is that
score of
so?
9, which is 4 higher than anyone else. And I believe that Challenger has a slightly different scoring system. I think you get more points for each win, and you also get points for losses. I think the idea is to encourage people to play even if they're losing.
Yeah, because challenger is on a challenge basis, as fits the name, rather than having assigned games every week.
Yes, the way Challenger works, for those who don't know, is that you get to challenge anyone you want at any time. So you can do more than one match in a week, but you can't ever play the same person twice. And if you are challenged by someone, you cannot refuse. You have 1 week from the time of the challenge to play them.
Well, that's why we would join Challenger, I suppose, to get matches. If anyone is watching this and hasn't somehow joined the Spy Party Competitive League yet, be aware Challenger is open to everybody, all people, all skill levels. All you need to do is have a little bit of interest, go into the Discord and tell Crazy Kaylee you want to sign up.
And this will be Spedmonkey's first match, having just been entered into the database, I believe, possibly today, possibly yesterday. And we are getting our first picks and bans. Sykosloth getting the first pick, banning Veranda, any 5 of 8. That doesn't surprise me too much. It's a large map, and for a newer player, I can definitely understand how it can be overwhelming, because it is still overwhelming for me. And Spedmonkey
Certainly.
has banned
Oh,
Moderne, any 5 of 8.
so it looks like both of these players a little afraid of the 5 of 8 venues. They prefer not to be overwhelmed, keep all the action. Makes sense. A lot of these challenger players are relatively new to the game compared to some of the like 7 to 10 year veterans. So
And we have
it's
Terrace, any 3 of 5 from Sykosloth, followed up by Library, any 5 of 8 from Monkey. So there is a
oh
5 of
well.
8 map being played tonight.
Never mind what I said. Interesting that we have these preferences in the 5 of 8s. I've noticed library is really popular this season, and modern surprisingly popular as well. But almost nobody playing in veranda in most of the divisions.
And now we have Courtyard 4 of 7 from Sykosloth and Pub 3 of 5 from Monkey.
Courtyard, a fairly standard map, and two 3 of 5s in pool. Very interesting. A lot of these maps, Terrace and Courtyard, especially on Sykosloth's side, often seen as sniper favored. So we'll see how that turns out in the games.
Yeah, Terrace and Courtyard definitely seem like comfort picks. These are maps where the sniper generally doesn't have to worry too much, not too much to keep track of, should be able to get some wins. Library will be the real test for both of these players as sniper and spy. And then we'll finish up with some pub and see how well they can do there.
Pub a
And they are
very
getting
interesting
into
pick
the
for last
game
venue.
now, just waiting for players to synchronize, and so we'll switch over to that.
All right, away we go. Well, when it loads, of
Yeah,
course.
so the library pick is interesting from Monkey. Sykosloth has been doing pretty well on library so far. 100% spy, eek, 100% spy win rate out of, well, 3 games. You know, we're dealing with low sample sizes here. But
Yeah, for sure.
Sykosloth has also been doing well on Terrace. Very good results. 100% sniper win rate. Makes sense to pick it. Sykosloth's Courtyard is only 40% sniper win rate. 2 out of 5 sniper games won. So looks like he still feels comfortable with it though, despite that.
Yeah, as you said, I think these are comfort picks from both players. It looks like nobody really got messed up in the draft. Both players just going with maps that they feel comfortable on. I'm still on waiting for players to synchronize. How about you?
Yep, still just waiting. They might be a little bit nervous, and this is Monkey's first match in the SCL. Looks like Sykosloth signed up for Challenger last year, but doesn't look to have played any matches. And Monkey's not a total newbie either. I think Monkey has also played the game before, but it's been a few months and they're just returning, and it's their first competitive experience.
Yeah, that's about how it goes. Pretty common to have a lot of players who get the game, play a little bit,
All
and
right,
then come back. But we're
first
starting it
match
off
is
here.
starting up. 3, 2, 1, playing it.
So we have Spedmonkey starting off here as the spy, being Kane, Morgan Freeman, Papa Danger, whatever name you prefer for him. We have statues fully turned off, and looks like we're just starting off with the flirt.
Yeah, we have a few people at bar here, so we have options if we want to make it look like someone is framing us, or we can also join that list of bar visitors ourselves, so that if we delegate, Sykosloth might have a harder time figuring out who did it. Twin doing a little bit of a weird move there. The Twin, who is already high lit, moved from one spot on the bar to the other, and we get to see if Sykosloth, lowlights for something very AI-like, or just finds it suspicious.
Do you think that's a twin separation highlight, or has he already done something?
No, I think that's just a separation highlight, probably on whichever Twin arrived at the bar first, or maybe just Bling Twin. If I have no reason to pick one over the other, I highlight the Bling Twin, because a highlight is just more bling, if you think about it. We got the
More
second
makes
flirt with our
sense.
seduction target, and then they walked away from us. We're alone in conversation with the ambassador now. Not the best person to delegate to, but we have already delegated to Duke, who's over at the bar. And the list gets taken. Will Sykosloth react to this?
I don't see a whole lot of reaction yet. No highlights, no lowlights. We're mainly still looking at this conversation. There was a little bit of a no talk with the ambassador for a moment, but it doesn't look like that was noticed either.
No, Toby
Oh,
gets low lit, which could be a sign of saying, alright, I don't have to watch Toby anymore, so noticed that the list was gone. But when the list was taken, it didn't look like the camera was really watching the list. So it could be that there's a little bit of confusion there. But Duke was the only one who could have taken it. But I'm guessing, based on the lack of focus on the list, and also the fact that no shot has come off, that Sloth wasn't necessarily sure who Duke was standing next to before he went to the bar.
Duke is definitely high lit for that.
And we
We're
are next to
walking
the
back in.
ambassador now. A little bit too far for bugging range. The double agent enters, so we could go for a contact, and there are a lot of good people in this conversation, including Duke. So this is the perfect way to frame Duke for doing the purloin and the banana bread, but the safety's coming off on us. Only
Yeah, it
for
was
a
a light
moment.
test and a little bit of a double talk. Not exactly a double talk, but a talk very quickly after one talk finished. Looks like that has indeed attracted the sniper's attention. But with only 10% of the flirt left, are we going to shoot in time for one more talk?
We might. I mean, if you take your safety off on Kane, you could just be waiting for him to do something else. And if that something is entering a conversation and talking immediately, which Kane will have to do in order to get the flirt done before overtime, that could be enough to draw the shot,
Yeah, I don't
especially
know
when
about this
Duke is
window.
not doing anything. Kane
Entering across
talks.
from our ST. He
Gets shot.
talks. Shot comes off. So Terrace, a little bit of a sniper advantage, just as predicted.
Yeah, even though Sloth didn't really know exactly who did the purloin, ultimately the fact that Duke wasn't doing anything and that Kane, was doing that double talk, was doing a white BB and then entered and spoke to the seduction target really quickly, just let Sloth have the win, even if he wasn't super certain about the purloin.
Yeah, it's hard to tell the sniper's thoughts just from their camera movement on this venue, but I do think we were on top of who had been to the bar based on that quick low light of Toby when the list was taken.
All right, ready for the next game. Three,
Okay.
2, 1, playing it.
Here we have Sykosloth taking the spy side as rocker, starting off in a conversation actually alone at first, then joined by some little bit of a rush at the bar. We have the ambassador and several people clustered around them, which is, of course, going to have to be watched carefully for any bugging. Our ST comes into conversation across from us, and we do choose to flirt, only picking up 19% on a white test.
And Sykosloth is looking around a lot, possibly following the ambassador. Unfortunately, it looks like Alice will get that briefcase before we can, and this wouldn't really be a great bugging path here. So instead, we're walking over to the bar. I don't think it's a great delegate time either, to be honest. There aren't many other people at the bar right now, so you would be the top suspect if someone goes and grabs it. And
Yeah,
it looks
we actually
like...
pick up that highlight to track the purloin.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like we're doing bar highlights. So that's an extra knock against the idea of Sloth finishing purloin without getting shot.
Oh, but luckily, 3 more people head to the bar right afterwards. If we can delay the delegate a little bit until they get back into conversation, that might be very helpful.
Yeah, and it could also be a really powerful frame play. If one of them enters next to you, you could look like you were delegated to, which always gets the sniper's mind going a little bit, to be like, well, Rocker was just at the bar. Would she really go back and do a direct when she was planning to delegate? But it looks like we're heading over to the window, so either we're planning to enter next to someone and frame them, or we're planning to enter next to one of these people when they return from the bar.
We also
And
picked up a hot green flirt there for 51% up to a total of 70. That means any close white flirt will be enough to finish now.
yeah, and I think we've made a really good decision for where to stand with 2 spots open next to us, because the people coming from the bar have a high chance of entering next to us. But it looks like they didn't. Smallman chose the other side instead.
Banana bread.
The purloin has come off. Here's the banana bread. Here's the finish of the seduction. We're in countdown already. Over a minute left. I don't think a shot's coming off. No way.
Yeah, that was my bad. We'd already delegated, and I was speculating about who could be framed to delegate to us, but it was already done.
Wow, the end of that match went so quickly.
Yeah, and then the banana bread came off, and I'm guessing that Monkey just wasn't able to track who exactly did it with so many people at the bar. There ended up being a pretty big rush there.
Just like that, Sykosloth goes up 2-0 on Terrace. Now they're back on the sniper side. They've got to be feeling pretty good about picking up a spy win here.
All right, 3, 2,
Here's the next game.
1, playing it.
Right. This time we have Monkey as Oprah or Hair or Red Dress, starting off at statues. An interesting low suspicion choice since the statues are fully turned off. Some people do put inspects on for this map, but it seems like the odds of people completing inspects since you need 2 visits is a little low for most spies to want to have it on.
Yeah, it didn't look like there was a lot to do at the start. The seduction target was busy, and we didn't really want to risk joining them. But we are getting a contact off now. The only low light is Smallman. Everyone else is in conversation, so it's a really good contact. And if you have an opportunity to do another one later, you might even muddle up these highlights, which are keeping track of who has the real banana bread.
Yeah, only 1 double agent suspect on. So you know there's only 1 conversation that could have real if there's only a single banana bread.
we're being very respectful with the flirt. We entered next to Teal and we didn't start talking immediately. We waited until it was our turn, which is a pretty reasonable play in a conversation circle of only 3 people because it will become your turn pretty quickly. But I was a little bit worried about Teal leaving since we are already a minute and a half in, and it's really good that we got started on that flirt progress.
Not a lot else coming off here. The contact and seduce, obviously the two most often completed missions, but the question is, what is the third mission going to be?
There is a fingerprint on the
Yeah.
right statue in front of the window, and we could go for that. It's been a little while since it got left there, the briefcase got moved, and the ambassador is leaving another print on another statue. So this could be a good game to go for fingerprints because, there's a lot of them being left. Other AIs might get them. But we do another banana bread, and this time there are no lowlights available. Irish could look like she was splitting. But at this point, a lot of people can be credited for real banana bread. But no more lowlights coming off from Sloth despite that.
Well, I think the double agent may have been at the bar during that.
That's so true. The double agent was at the bar. I saw that. I was thinking, are there any lowlights available? Oh, that person at the bar can be lowlit. Oh no, they're the double agent. They were already lowlit. And I didn't realize that means the whole banana bread was useless.
That's a known fake to the sniper.
Yeah, that could just be a mistake by Monkey. I mean, I've done that before in some of my first few games, being like, oh, everyone's in conversation. It's a good time to... ambassador alert, by the way. The ambassador is standing right next to us, and we could bug here. But we have a drink in our hand, unfortunately, so we can't.
Up to 95% on the flirt. I think it might just be not forgetting the fact that Terrace doesn't have a suspected double agent. There's only the single one.
Yeah, that's got to be what happened there. And now we have the timer going down 15 seconds. The only way we can win at this point is with a bug, but Monkey's not doing anything.
Even with that, we'd have to flirt another time.
Another banana
we're just
bread.
Banana
No one's going to get shot from that. You've already proven that you're doing fake ones. Sloth has no reason to believe that banana bread means anything. And, he doesn't. He doesn't take a shot.
I think that second fake banana bread probably contributed to the held shot there. The list wasn't taken. Nobody was doing anything too suspicious.
Yeah, and if you think that you've been guarding the ambassador properly, then you just have no reason to shoot anyone. And the banana bread really felt like desperation. And was it in the last 10 seconds?
The final one, yes, I think it was.
Yeah, you can't do that because if the banana bread is in the last 10 seconds, that means that if the spy is finishing with it, the game will go into overtime. And so the sniper knows that there's no reason to shoot until the overtime beeps start because they will have those few seconds.
All right,
Ready.
Looks like we have our next match up here.
3, 2, 1, playing it.
Sykosloth stepping back into the spy side as Pearl's here. And once again, we're taking a very innocent start. Not even going for our seduction target, but the ambassador sidles in right next to us. This would be a good time for a bug, and there it is, and we're just shot.
Great. Glad you were able to cover that one. That one ended really quickly.
Sometimes you take the bug and get shot for it. I think we wanted the walking bug, but the way we turned out of conversation kind of made it a wrong arm bug, and the arm stuck way out on the side. So pretty easy to see for the sniper there.
And so that was the first... Wait, had I gotten done updating the rifles? I had. That was 1 point for Spedmonkey, or no?
Yes, that's our first point for Spedmonkey, so we have a 3-1 there.
Great. Well, that's got to feel good for Monkey to be able to get 1 point there instead of getting totally swept. And to at least notice the bug, which sends a sign to Sloth saying, hey, you can't get away with whatever you want. I do notice things.
Absolutely. Hashtag not swept. That's my motto down at the bottom of Iron.
That's my philosophy in all competitive games, as long as I don't place last, as long as I get 1 point, I'm good. But not that I'm reading too much into our competitors' mindsets here.
But that brings an end to our set on Terrace, and now we're moving into Library, our large 5 of 8 map. very unique in that only about a third of the venue to a half, maybe, depending on your angle, is visible to the sniper. And
Three,
here's our first game.
2, 1, playing it.
We have Spedmonkey as the spy as Alice, or Equestrian. So named because she was modeled after a real person named Alice.
And yet she is a jockey, so equestrian. Is equestrian really taking on? Is that really a thing, or are we just making it a thing?
I link some of my friends to these casts who don't watch Spy Party that much, and they're maybe not familiar with all the community nicknames for the characters. So I just like to throw in a little bit of explanation there.
So we are over at the bookshelf, and we're doing an animation transfer, and we're getting shot.
You do the hardtail, it gets seen, you get shot. That's how it goes.
That's how it goes. Was it a good time to do the hardtail? Were you watching the sniper view? Was the ambassador and the tray over on the other side, or was it?
I was watching the sniper view. We had the ambassador over on the right, but the sniper swung their view over to the left for just a moment, probably to cover the set of statues, and caught the perfect time just to see Alice's head doing this exaggerated wag back and forth.
All right, 3,
That's how it goes.
2, 1, playing it.
Sykosloth taking it back as the spy here is Oprah/hair/red dress. Commonly thought of as one of the best spies in the game. She has good animations, good walk speed, good stats in all categories. Just a great character all around. We're going to step in and start off with a green flirt for 51%, followed by a quick stop talk.
Yeah, and I think you don't really get punished for the stop talks on library because the sniper just, if the laser isn't on you, it's not going to see you doing the stop talk. So I've gotten a little bit too addicted to them. I do them all the time when the laser's not on me because, why be seen talking if I don't have to? And they're not going to see it.
I believe we also yanked out a book early on from the blue bookshelves. And the way the sniper view is looking, I don't think we know where that book came from. So that's probably going to be a direct transfer in a little bit. Maybe now?
And here we are returning the book. No laser on us, and it doesn't look like we're going to get shot for this. The laser is watching us for a moment to see if we do an animation transfer, but that's not what we're doing.
Yeah, if the sniper knew where the book came from, simply walking to the wrong bookcase is shootable. An AI will never do that. But we weren't on it. We have the book put back in. The microfilm transfer is complete. And now we're back up to 85% on the flirt.
Yep, and we did another stop talk there, I believe. Looks like Sloth is just as into those stop talks as I am. The thing about doing the microfilm transfer is that it does take up a decent amount of time. We're at a bit less than 3 minutes left now, and it took us over a minute to do that transfer without really gaining any suspicion.
Yeah, but the important fact is that we did get it done. The library, we have sort of a division of missions in this game between ones that are called hard tells, things that AIs will never do, and soft tells, things the AI can do. We have contact double agent, seduce target, and inspect statues are the major soft tell missions. You can usually count on being able to get away with those 3, but on a 5 of 8 map like library, the question is, what are your other 2 missions going to be?
Yeah, and we're doing something really interesting here. We went over to inspect statues, and we inspected the ones on the right, and then we immediately moved over and inspected the one on the left, getting all of the statues done. And there's a bug walking right by the ambassador as he's doing the statues himself. Lasers on the other side was not watching for it.
Absolutely not on screen at all.
But a missed pad also not on screen. It looks like we tried to enter the conversation, we failed, so we went over to the window pad. And the thing about that bug that worked really well was that the path made sense. You couldn't ever see that Oprah was doing anything weird. She didn't look drunk. And contact coming off, shot on text. This game is going faster than I can keep up with. And so what I was saying was that if you don't see her do the bug, you'll never be able to swing back and feel anything was weird about her path because all she did was leave the conversation circle and just walk right by the ambassador. But when you swing over, it just looks like, yeah, she left the circle and she's walking. So no real reason to suspect her for it.
Yep. We took a lot of good positioning in that match. We're behind the pillars a lot, on the other side of the venue as Toby and the ambassador a lot. And I think that's what let us get away with all that we got away with. Not entirely sure what Tex did to get shot. They were a highlight. I think he had been to statues.
All right, 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Now we have Spedmonkey stepping back into the spy side as Smallman, notorious as one of the best characters in the game. For his size alone, he can get away with a lot of shenanigans just due to the lower
Reverse
visibility.
drive-by alert. Reverse drive-by bug. That is a pro move. Monkey was waiting by the window pad there for the ambassador to walk behind him, and when he did, he pulled off a reverse drive-by, probably without any suspicion, not even a highlight. That's a move that even I'm not capable of.
You know what's crazy about that is I was watching the sniper view and it was directly on camera with the arm sticking out and just no notice taken of it whatsoever. The camera kept on swinging to follow the ambassador, completely clean. That's the power of the reverse drive.
Yeah, you just don't expect them. And oh, we had a really strange conversation entrance there. We tried to jam ourselves in and it looked like we were in, but we didn't trust it and we left.
It's fine, it's fine. We weren't on camera again. Library, just a map where you can get away with this sorts of thing if you're not being looked at.
And look at that, the seduction target comes right to us. He stands on the other side of the conversation, but we're still up to 84% now, so we're not going to complain about it. We have Toby offering us a drink. The ambassador is not anywhere near us. It could be a good time to purloin, but we don't take it.
The lowest possible flirt percent is 17% for a white all the way across the conversation circle, so 84% is a completely safe number.
We did take the purloin. My god, my bad. It was a green purloin. Thought it was a reject, but the purloin is going off, and it has gone off while we are at center statues now.
Oh, wow. I don't think I even saw that in the log. But we have to be feeling good about that.
Yeah. Anyway, we got done with our center statues. The sniper's looking around, confused, not sure who could have done the purloin. Few lowlights came off, but it just doesn't look like Sloth is certain about it at all.
Staring back at the left side of the venue for a moment with the ambassador all the way on the right. I think this is looking really good for Spedmonkey here. We're going to burn a little time at the windows. We are still a highlight, but I think it's just for that statue visit.
Yeah, and the fact is we were doing the statue visit while the purloin went off, so unless Sloth is on top of the reject chain for the green purloin, he might be thinking, well, the fact that Smallman was at statues maybe means he didn't do the purloin. You know, maybe I shouldn't just tunnel on him just because he was at center statues. Don't really know what's going through Sloth's mind.
All we need to do to win this game is walk in with the double agent and say banana bread, just like so.
Banana bread.
There it is, and the sniper is moving around. There's not going to be a shot taken. There's highlights being taken. We're watching Smallman. We know it could be him, but we don't take the shot.
Yep. That reverse drive-by bug in the early stages of the match really set us up for success there.
I mean, that was a brilliant game from Monkey. The reverse drive-by, you know, great intuition to catch that, be ready for it, and actually pull it off, you know, when you're so new to the game. And then hitting a nice green purloin at a time when the reject wouldn't be noticed because the ambassador was somewhere else, the sniper wasn't watching, get the center statues, and just really, really clean game. Sloth had no reason to shoot, just wasn't seeing the things that he needed to see.
It's good play on the spy side there, I think, mainly to be aware of where the laser was pointing and predict where the sniper's attention is going to go. But we have our next match lined up here.
3,
Are we ready?
2, 1, playing it.
And a quick green time ad to start us off here. Even if that is noticed, green time ads at the beginning can be a little hard to spot. Well, we are on camera,
Did we do
doing it
another one?
again. And 2 green time ads. What is this? What is this nonsense?
That's a bold play. That's a really
Oh,
bold play.
we've noticed it. We've noticed it. A couple of highlights on people at Windows and lowlights coming off for these time ads.
That's unfortunate then because we noticed it too late. But there are lowlights coming off, and the lowlights are correct, which is good for Monkey. The highlights, not so much. You noticed it too late. Those people were not the ones at the window when the time ads happened.
Oh, there's a white purloin, and it's directly on camera with the fade visible and everything.
Sniper's not watching Disney walk off with that drink. Have they noticed the list is gone?
Did we see it? Did we react? No, I don't think so. We're just staring at the ambassador now. We're even going to gulp this drink, and when we look back, no drink. There's the low light.
Low lit? Oh no, Monkey was just not on top of that purloin and was making some very late decisions about who to lowlight for it. Even though Disney was walking away with a drink when the purloin happened, and then didn't have it, 20 seconds later.
The entire purloin was directly on screen, but it just wasn't seen in time. Well, now we're taking out a fingerprintable book, collecting fingerprints. Spy, I don't think we know that we're low lit necessarily. After the white purloin with the laser on you, you have to be feeling like you might be a highlight instead.
Contact coming off, and Monkey is moving around, but not really getting many lowlights, probably because most of the party was low lit anyway. And at this point, it looks like he's just watching his suspects. Sari seems like a huge suspect. She's high lit, and we're just keeping the laser on her. And now the question is, can Monkey notice that none of his highlights are doing anything, and maybe realize that he might have low-lit someone incorrectly?
I hope so, but I have a feeling like we might just see Sari get shot in a minute or so here. With the green time ads and the contact coming off and the list gone, the sniper has to be feeling really pressured at this point.
Yeah, and the thing is,
missions are being done.
Sloth doesn't know that he's low-lit, and he's not rushing. I mean, he has a lot of time from the time ads. Has there been another time ad while we weren't watching? Because it feels like there's a lot of time here.
I'm not sure. I didn't see one. We did have 2 quick ones at the beginning. Only just now are the sniper and spy clocks resynchronizing at about the 250 mark.
Yeah, so Sloth has a lot of time left to do the other missions. My only worry for Sloth would be that, maybe he doesn't realize that he's low-lit and he's taking his time, which he is still doing. He's in a useless conversation right now with an SDA. You won't get any suspicion for that.
Oh, the ambassador walks around us. That could have been a reverse drive-by there, but we don't take it.
No, and so the only way that Sloth can lose this now is if he doesn't get his mission progress in, if he's tentative because he thinks that he was high-lit for the purloin instead of low-lit for it. And then the other thing that needs to happen would be for Monkey to realize that none of his top suspects are doing anything, but Sari is. She's at a bookshelf. And that's not good. The more active she is, the more likely she gets shot. A bug happens.
There's our bug. It was a pretty good bug. Even though we were on camera, we're a low light, and the arm was fairly well blocked by the ambassador. Yeah, we're not shot for it, and if you're not shot, you have to think the bug is pretty good.
No, and that's the progress that Sloth needed. My worry was that maybe Monkey would reevaluate the highlights and lowlights, and Sloth wouldn't make progress and would, have to go to center statues late and maybe get shot. But that's not going to happen now. All Sloth needs is one more fingerprint. I think he just tried to get one from the briefcase, but there was no print on it.
Yeah, we tried the briefcase. We tried to flirt with our ST, but they left just before it would have finished. Green test too, that hurts.
Yeah, I mean, the flirt progress might actually be what causes more problems here than anything else, which is a really strange statement to make in a game where you had, over 5 minutes? Oh, maybe 5.5 minutes, and you're low-lit, and you still don't have your flirt done with a minute left.
It's fine, it's fine. We do have good presence of mind from Sykosloth. Knowing that there's a fingerprintable book available, we did pick that up and finish our fingerprints. We've stepped back in for 61% on the flirt. Not quite enough for another close white.
Yeah, that's scary. You're going to have to enter next to that seduction target, talk immediately, and hope that you hit a green, because if you don't, you'll have to leave and come back to them again. And we know that Sloth can get away with that because he's low lit, but Sloth doesn't know that. But we hit a
but
green.
There's the green.
And there is no chance of a shot coming off now. In the final moments, we're just watching our highlights. Nothing is adding up because they are not the spy.
The sniper view at the end there, just staring at the middle of the venue with almost nobody even on screen. I think that's a metaphor for how that match went. We got away with that stuff early, and the sniper was just confused from that point out. I think maybe we know that we probably low-lit the spy.
Yeah, I mean, the lesson there is if you're taking lowlights from a purloin that you know you've noticed late, you have to be able to keep them fluid and maybe bring someone back up if your highlights aren't doing anything. Otherwise, you have nothing to watch and nothing to spot. 3.
So what's the score here?
2.
Oh.
I'll just start it. 3, 2, 1, playing it. Score is 6-2 for Sykosloth.
6-2 Sykosloth. That guarantees at least the tie. And in the sniper position on Courtyard, you have to think that you might be favored to take the win right here.
Yeah,
Spedmonkey is going to do his best, though. We've picked salmon.
Banana bread.
Banana bread comes off. Not many lowlights available. Queen and Rocker are the only ones, so that's a pretty good banana bread to get right off the bat. And Tex gets highlit for talking, but the banana bread was, 10 seconds ago. It's a little bit late to think that Tex was doing a white BB.
Well, speaking of seconds, we also did a cheeky green time ad at the start, so we have a little more time than we're supposed to.
And that's good because it's taken us a while to get our first flirt, but we're doing it with 3 minutes left on the clock, which is perfect. 51% green flirt, that's great progress, and we are near the ambassador, and we get low lit. I don't know why we got low lit. We're not doing anything. We're just, whoa!
I think it's time ad? I think maybe we just now noticed the time ad had happened, and Sniper feels pressured and shoots someone who went to statues. Wow.
And that was Sykosloth misshooting, so that's a point for Monkey.
Yeah, that's the comeback that Monkey needs to get back into this match.
Yeah, it could be a phantom swap.
Could be a phantom swap.
It was such a strange lowlight just for noticing a time ad late and thinking that they didn't do it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think the lowlights have to be for something, and that indicates probably for the time ad. We can ask them about it after the match. We've got our next game coming in here with Sykosloth as twin.
3, 2, 1, playing it.
Are we going to start with a green time ad? We are at Windows again.
These players love starting with their time ads.
No, not this time. Just stepping in for the flirt. Green test for 49%. Not quite minimum distance, but still close enough to be within range for 2 flirt if we get another green.
And we're immediately leaving the seduction target and walking in to get our inspects. It's an interesting decision on Courtyard because you will pick up a highlight for it, and that's going to make it really, really hard to get a hard tell past the sniper later.
Both of these players being fairly aggressive in their games on Library and Courtyard here. We had a fast banana bread last game and fast inspects this time.
And we are with the double agent right now, so we're probably wanting to do another banana bread, and this looks like a good time for it. Almost everyone is in conversation except the ambassador. But we're not taking
right
the contact.
now.
Yeah, this would be perfect. Only Taft is out right now, but we're just waiting for a good moment for it, and to be honest, I'm not quite sure why. You've had really good opportunities.
Banana bread.
It's coming
Well,
off
it could
now,
be just
finally.
the spy's visibility. You can't quite see the conversation circle that's across the statue from you, so they don't know exactly how full it is, but we're taking it now. It is good.
the low light's not really being taken. Taft was over at the windows, didn't get low lit. Wheels was moving around, and it looked like Monkey was hesitating about whether to low light him. And that means that we've come out of this contact with no low lights, or maybe just hair. I don't know if she was low lit for this or something else. And that means Sloth is in a really good position here in terms of the soft tell progress, but still needs to get the hard tell done.
There's a watch check. I almost thought that was going to be a timeout again. But still no. As always, the question on Courtyard. What's your hard
Purloin
tell going
coming
to
off.
be?
It's a white Purloin. It was seen. Looks like we're dancing almost, or just failing to enter the conversation, and the laser was on us, but no shot coming off. Monkey saw that. Monkey knew that the Purloin was gone, was following Sykosloth for a while, but just wasn't confident enough to take the shot and didn't think that Sloth was done.
Didn't think that Sloth was done. But he was done, and with that, the match is done as well. That's going to close us out here with a score of 7-3 in favor of Sykosloth.
Was that a green Purloin? I thought it was a white.
I think it was actually an ignore. So effectively a white action test. You always have the option to ignore the action test, and it'll give you a white result.
Oh, the flirt was green. Yeah, that's what I thought. The Purloin was the Purloin was
Purloin was white.
All right, so we're just going to ask both players if either of them are interested in joining us for a post-game interview. But I think both players have a lot to be proud of there. I mean, we're seeing things that we expect from Challenger, which is, mistakes being made. I mean, I can't judge. I make tons of mistakes. But there was also some really good play. That Monkey game on Library with the reverse drive-by, the green Purloin, and the smooth Smallman win was really fantastic.
That reverse drive-by, I think that's absolutely the highlight of the match. And some slick plays on Terrace as well, I think. Oh.
Yeah, so I'm just asking either of them if they'd like to join us for an interview and maybe explain some of the stuff that we missed.
Legorv also pointing out, to flirt and stop talk.
Yeah, stop talk on Courtyard is definitely a lot easier to see than the one on Library, but maybe at this level you're just not really watching for them. And I mean, personally, I lowlight people for stop talks because I think the spy won't do them.
Well, you are allowed to stop talking if somebody interrupts you, I think is how it works. AIs will occasionally interrupt the conversation, and that will cause the other AI to do one of three things: either stop talk, continue talking, or leave the conversation instantly.
So we will have Monkey joining us for a post-game interview.
Ah, nice.
And so just directing him to head on over to headquarters. Hey, Monkey.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
So, that was okay.
That was okay. How are you feeling about it?
Well, I told you beforehand that my goal was to get one win, so I overachieved.
You got 2 wins, and one of them was really impressive. We were just gushing about that Library win as small men. You pulled off a reverse drive-by bug, which is more than I'm capable of.
Yeah, I thought he saw it, because it looked like it was on camera, but it worked out.
Yeah, apparently it was on camera, but maybe just wasn't expecting it, so it worked. And the Purloin came at a perfect time as well when the Ambassador was over on the other side of the map, wasn't seen.
Yeah, I mean, when it works out, I'm happy to take it.
Yeah, let's dive in and take a look at some of those matches and go over some of the key moments where we might not have been able to understand everything that you were thinking.
Oh, I'm sure there are a lot of those, don't worry.
No, I thought a lot of it made sense for the most part. again, none of the mistakes being made here are egregious. It's all very understandable stuff.
All right. Do you want me to watch stream, or how would you like me to
Yeah, you can open
watch
up the
with you?
stream if you want. I'll be opening up the replays and going through things.
Sure, I can do that.
So
Yeah, we'll just open up the replays here.
yeah, this first game on Terrace was pretty good. You got away with the Purloin without Sloth being certain who did it, and it looks like what did you in was just the fact that, you know, Duke, who you delegated to, wasn't really doing anything, and then you had to enter conversation and pick up that last flirt by talking really quickly after entering conversation.
Yeah, I remember thinking if I had greened the third flirt, which I think got me to 90 instead, I would have been fine. But
Yeah.
I didn't, so I wasn't.
I agree. And then the second game on Terrace, this one was just a little bit unfortunate, I think, because Sykosloth went to the bar to pick up the delegate at 2:30, and there really wasn't a lot of people over at the bar, and I commented that it wouldn't really be a great time to delegate because it would be pretty obvious who did it. And then unfortunately, right when Sykosloth left, 3 people ran over to the bar, and then the delegate happened, and it just became really, really, really hard to track who did it. And then the moment the list disappeared, a banana bread came off, and you know, the game was just over.
I saw Smallman took it, right?
Let's take a look.
Yes, Smallman is
Smallman took
indeed
it.
the one who takes the list.
All right, 'cause I saw it disappear when Smallman took it, but I lost track of who sent it to him, and yeah.
Yeah, and that was, like I said, pretty understandable. There were just so many people at the bar, and then before you would have had a chance to realize who possibly sent him, or if he took it himself, a contact comes off and the game just ends. So that was a very good party for Sykosloth to have all those visitors at the bar. Sloth letting me know that he wants to join. I said,
Sure.
just hop in.
Yeah, fine with me.
It seemed like both of you were doing missions very quickly, trying to play aggressive rather than time out. Is that on your mind? What's your time management thoughts on the match?
Overall, I had looked at a couple of replays beforehand. It didn't seem like Sloth was likely to, or it seemed like he was willing to let people time out, I thought. So it made more sense to try and get things done as they came to me.
Yeah, and on this third Terrace game, though, when you were Oprah, also known as Hare, you did time out, and you did 3 contacts that game.
Yeah, the first one was a mistake. I don't remember what exactly I was trying to do, but it wasn't a contact.
Oh, that's interesting, because it was a really good time to contact. When that first one came off, there was only 1 low light available, and you
or maybe it was the second one. One of the
yes,
fakes
the second
was
one.
unintentional.
Yeah, the second one happened when the double agent was
Yeah.
out of conversation, and we were a little bit confused about that one. So it makes sense to hear that it was a fake.
Yes, I don't remember what I was trying to do, but it was not.
Banana bread.
Yeah, it was not banana bread.
Yeah, and then the final one came in the last 10 seconds. So it looked at that point like you had given up on finishing missions and were trying to induce a shot. What do you think went wrong there in terms of the mission progress? Did you feel there weren't any good opportunities to go for them?
If I recall correctly, my purloin failed. Or did I? Well, I think what I was trying to do was, I think I faked banana bread when I was trying to delegate. And from there, the game kind of got away from me.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
So from there, I realized I was already a suspect, I was pretty sure, and I didn't have time to finish, so I figured it might do it good if, I timed out for at least 1 game. But, yeah, that one just got away from me, I think.
Yeah, and then on the 4th Terrace game, you won immediately by noticing a bug, and we're just going to replay that now. Yeah, it looks like you're zoomed in. Pearls is on the edge, but then right when you zoom out, she leaves and she waves with the wrong arm. And I guess it looks like Sykosloth was trying to use the other arm, but it
So
just became super
funny thing
difficult.
about this actually is at the beginning, I thought Disney was the Amba, so I was zoomed in on him before I realized that wait a minute, he doesn't have a purple triangle.
Those triangles can be deceptive.
It's
Yes.
funny. I've made that mistake before. Sometimes I'm watching the ambassador, so I see the purple arrow above their head, but they were standing right next to someone, and then I just end up following that person around for a little bit before realizing it's not the ambassador.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's what it was or if something else happened, but I realized, I guess, just in time on that.
Yeah, the first library game was an unfortunate shot, microfilm scene. Even though you did it at, I believe, a pretty good time when the sniper's laser would have been tracking
Hey,
the
Psycho.
ambassador elsewhere.
What's going on?
Hello, do we have Sykosloth with us now?
Yep.
Hey, Sloth. We're just going through the games and, asking about some of the key moments where we might not have understood everything that was going through the players' minds. Right now, we're looking at the second library game, and this is the one where Sloth, you were Oprah or Hare as the spy, and you won after pulling off a direct microfilm transfer, and you bugged the ambassador.
Yeah.
I actually don't think there's too much to say about this one. This one just looks like a smooth spy game. And
I can tell you, this is the one. So, Cowboy did some really weird briefcase things on that, which is why I was tunneling on him and why he eventually got shot in the end of it.
That makes sense.
Okay. I was wondering about that, yeah.
At least I thought they were weird briefcase things. It's as far as I'm concerned, it's black magic, but
Let's take a look at that and see what he does with the briefcase. I'm assuming that's when you highlight him.
probably highlight him for statues there.
Oh yeah,
but
you highlight him for statues, and then he looks
And then
like
he
he's gonna
immediately
pick
picked
up
up-
the briefcase afterwards.
he immediately picked up case.
Let's take a look at that. So he walks over, he's picking it up, and then from your perspective, I'm watching what you saw. He should be walking over with the briefcase right about now.
Yep.
Seems like it's taking him a while. And he stops when the ambassador gets close, and he waits. And then he starts following the ambassador. Oh, okay, so here's what happened. This
Right,
is...
and then he stood in the conversation circle, which I thought was strange.
It makes a lot of sense
But-
that you thought that. So I think what's happening here, and people in chat can correct me if I'm getting it wrong, is once he's waited long enough for the ambassador to stop moving and the ambassador hasn't stopped, he makes the decision to put it down. But he's in a spot where he cannot put it down because there is no room where he's standing. Which probably is because he's really close to the window and it would have ended up, inside the pillar or something. And so when they're putting it down in that case, they take a step in a random direction and then they put it down.
Makes sense.
So if you
wow.
don't know about that rule, or even if you do know about it, it looks like he's walking when he shouldn't.
Today I learned. I had no idea about that step. I thought you could just set down the briefcase anywhere you could walk to.
And then the next library game was a really smooth win from Monkey, getting a reverse drive-by bug off right near the start. Sloth, were you watching for that? Did you see Smallman do that bug in any way, or were you not thinking of it?
Although now that I'm looking at it, I should have seen it. I did not see it.
I thought for sure that you were on that.
Oh, for sure I was on the ambassador, but apparently I'm really blind.
And then the purloin happened at a really good time for Monkey. The reject just wasn't really seen while Monkey was over on the far right. So I think that was good play from Monkey, and understandable to lose track of that green purloin chain. It did look like your laser went on Smallman for just a moment near the end, even tilting over to look at him. Was there any chance of Smallman getting shot there? Was he a suspect?
He was definitely a suspect, but he wasn't about to get shot. Not right that second, at least.
I'm just trying to see what he's doing behind that pillar.
I was just seeing if he was talking or not.
What did you think about the purloin in that game? Was there anyone you
That
were
130
particularly
throw
tunneling
whip.
on?
No, not at all. I was just trying to best remember who I could safely low light at that point.
Yeah, and then in the fourth library game, we saw another purloin, and this one was done by you, Sykosloth, when you
I
were
thought I
Disney, and
was
you did it
dead.
standing near the
Oh my
pillar.
god.
Yeah, it's a white purloin, and it is on screen. Monkey, when did you notice that the purloin had gone off?
As soon as I started low lighting.
As soon as you started low lighting, yeah, and that's a
So
moment
it
later.
was. So which would have been after he came out from behind that pillar there, after Toby came out.
Yeah,
Oh,
unfortunately, the
Toby
list got
turns
hidden
and
for a
shows you.
moment.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so
Yep, so I
Sloth,
thought-
did
so
you
it-
know that you got low lit at this point?
No, I thought it'd be a hard highlight the rest of the game.
Yeah, that's what we thought as well, because it looked like you were being a little bit tentative, not rushing the mission progress at that point, because you had no idea that you got low lit.
No, I completely missed it the first time and thought that there was no. Saw that he had taken and thought there was no way he was in the chain for whatever. I think so. It looked to me like Sorry took it. So
Yeah, that makes sense, and being able to track those purloin chains is a skill that requires practice. But it can be hard if you don't notice it in the moment and they walk away. Same as if they hit a green purloin and walk away. And so let's move on to Courtyard here. Sykosloth, you were the
statue.
first sniper, and you shot Irish very quickly into the match. Can you explain what that shot was for?
Miscounted the statues, apparently. I was a phantom statues.
Phantom swap? Yeah, that's what people were speculating. That's understandable.
Did you know about the time ads?
No, I'm terrible.
The green time ads? Okay.
The green ones, at least. I usually would catch the white one. Or at least narrow the.
Oh, so that was also a factor in one of those library games too. There were at least 2 green time ads, I think, in one of those.
Yeah,
But I
that's
lost
correct.
track of who was at Windows. So
And so on this second Courtyard game, Monkey, you were the sniper, Sloth, you were the spy as twin, and there was another purloin. This time it was right at the windows. And Monkey, your camera was on it, and you followed Sloth as he left with the drink. Did you?
I missed the fade. Just wasn't sure he was done.
Right. So do you think you might have shot later if Sloth did something else, but you just weren't expecting that it was 2 green flirts and that he was already done?
Pretty much, yeah. I thought afterwards I should have shot, but so it goes.
Yeah, and the other question we had for you, Sloth, we were talking about this, I believe, before you joined, so I'll just head back to it for a moment. In this first Terrace game where Monkey was the spy as Kane and delegated to Duke, it looked like you weren't sure about necessarily which one of them was the one who did the delegate, and then you shot Kane at the end for presumably entering conversation and flirting. Is that correct?
Yeah, this is back in the very first game. I was curious about how onto that you were. It looked like the laser wasn't really moving, but then suddenly the safety flashes off on Kane like you know.
We lost him.
Yeah.
We'll never know. It will forever be a mystery.
That's all right. It's not a huge question. Well,
I'm sure it was because I walked in and talked pretty quickly because I was trying to avoid overtime. But
yeah, I was gonna ask, if you had greened those flirts, if you might have won that game instead, but it's all right. Not a pressing question. Do either of you think there's anything else that we didn't cover from this match?
I don't think so. I mean, obviously I didn't see your cast, so I'm going to have to go back and watch it. But
Oh yeah, I just mean in the interview. But I think that
No,
was
I don't think
pretty
so.
much everything.
yeah, I mean, I told you beforehand that I'm still just trying to get the fundamentals down. So
Yeah, and I think everything just takes practice. You clearly
Yep.
know what you're doing. You know what the fundamentals are. You know the game theory. And again, the library game was very impressive with that reverse drive-by, Purloin, all of that.
Well, thank you.
You were able to catch that one bug on Terrace as well, which I thought was a good moment, letting Sykosloth know that he can't get away with everything.
Yeah.
So congratulations on your first match.
Thank you.
And
Thank you
I'm
for
looking
casting it. I
forward to
appreciate it.
watching more.
Yeah, great. All right, well, guys, well, have a good night.
Have a good
All
night.
right. Look forward to seeing you in the future, and good evening.
For sure. Likewise.
And thank you to everyone for watching. Thank you as well to Sykosloth for letting us cast you and coming in for the interview, even if you may have suffered some internet issues. And thank you to Ranmilia for being my co-host tonight.
Well, thank you to Dells. Thank you to Checker. Thank you to the Academy. No, just kidding.
And
I think we're going to head on out here.
for the rest of the week, we have another cast coming up tomorrow in the afternoon between Orak and Coddy. And then there's a cast Thursday night on T-Flame stream, Zero Doom versus Quicklime. And then T-Flame on Friday night will also be casting Legorv versus myself. So, yeah. Have a good night, everyone.
All right. We'll look forward to those, and good night, Dells.